Good evening. I miss seeing all of you here at church, but it's good to be able to still talk to you and do a children's time even from afar. So I was thinking about Thomas this week. We have a story about a guy named Thomas. And what it got me thinking about is the scars that we have all over our bodies. I've got a scar from when I was probably 5 on my knee. From when I was riding my bike and I skinned my knee in a parking lot, and it still is there on my body even all these years later. I also have scars from surgeries that I've had or different things that have happened in my life that are on my body. And I think the neat thing about scars and our story for this Sunday is we have the disciples, so the guys who followed Jesus around for those 3 years that he was doing ministry. We have the disciples hanging out in this locked room. And this is after Jesus has died and risen. And he shows up in this locked room. And he says to them, "Peace be with you." And Thomas isn't there. Thomas was out somewhere, maybe doing some shopping or visiting family or something. We don't know where he was, but he doesn't get to see Jesus. So he comes back and all the other disciples are like, "Hey, Thomas, we saw Jesus." And he says, "Oh, right. Yeah, no, that's not how this worked. And if we did see Jesus, then I want to know that it's really him. I want to see the scars that he has on his hands and on his feet and the scar in his side." So he basically tells the disciples, "I'm not going to believe it until I see it and until I feel those scars." So a week later, they're all in the locked room. Thomas is there this time. And Jesus shows up and says, "All right, Thomas, look at my hands. Look at my feet. Put your hand in my side. See what this looks like." I think 2 things are really important about this. The first thing is that we have a God who has scars. We have a God who understands us really well, even to the point of having cuts and scars on his hands and his feet from what he's gone through. So he really gets us, which is pretty cool. And the second thing that I like about this story is that Jesus says to his disciples who are terrified and confused and a little bit scared, he says to them, "Peace be with you." And I don't know what you guys think of when you hear peace. I used to think about peace being feeling all happy and warm and fuzzy. Maybe peace being when you're wrapped up in a warm blanket and drinking hot chocolate, that kind of peaceful right before Christmas with the snow falling. But my definition of peace has changed over the years. And now, to me, peace is knowing that God is there, even when things are different and even when things have changed and even when things are make us a little bit nervous. So I know some of you are doing schoolwork from home, and that's a change, and it's hard, and you might miss your friends and your teachers. And maybe you've heard some scary things about what's going on in the news. But the thing is that we have peace because God promises us that he's always with us. And so that's something that we can rely on and that we can trust. So that's pretty cool. Now, for those of you who do get nervous, though, I have some tips. These are my how to handle being nervous and dealing with new things. I go over this with my kids sometimes. I tell them to take deep breaths. So I practice deep breathing, and so that might be something you can try. So breathing in and counting to 10 and then letting it out really slowly helps me to calm myself down. Having a favorite stuffed animal to hug when you're nervous, that's another good one. So you can hold a stuffed animal. When Onamur was having a lot of nightmares, we got her a mermaid doll that she has in her bed now. And so it's something for her to hold on to when she's nervous. Maybe you have a favorite stuffed animal or toy. Something to just kind of hold on and cuddle. And also to kind of just remind yourself that you are so loved by God and your family and your friends, that everything's going to be okay. It's so important to remind yourself of that. And parents, same for you too, because this is a fun time that we're in. And so just kind of having that moment where we refocus and say, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. We can do this. That self-talk is really important these days. So I hope you're doing well. I miss you. And I'm grateful for all of you there. And I'm looking forward to seeing you when we get back together. All right. Have a great week, guys. Bye.